Yo, what's going on, guys? I wanted to make this video for quite a while because I think it's actually going to break through a lot of people. Okay, so this is going to be the only video that you need to know if you want to go ahead and get clients, right? People to work with or pay you money from the internet just by sending out emails, right? And exactly how to do it, right? How to script it, why it works, the psychology behind the entire thing, an actual script that you can follow, the follow-ups as well, talk about automating it. Pretty much like one video to watch if you're trying to get clients and you want them now and you want to do it the free way, which is outreach. This is actually content for my private mastermind, but I thought it'd be valuable for people that are checking out this stuff and they're just like, Zane, I want to work with you. I want to do this program. I want to get into this and actually make this thing real and build a business, but I'm just missing that first client. And so maybe, the hope is if you can use this and get your first client, then you have a client already, and then maybe we can work together much faster. So that's the motivation. Enjoy. Yo, what is up, guys? Wait, let me turn on this camera. Maybe this will be okay. Is this working? Yes, it's kind of working. Hello. Hope everyone's well. I want to make this video to walk you guys through the way that I think that you should be getting your first businesses, right? And in particular, just let's focus on email outreach for a second, okay? Because like email outreach, what it means is basically sending out emails cold to people that you don't know, and specifically the business owners, right? So they don't know you, they don't know who you are. They probably get a bunch of emails, and they probably won't respond unless your email has a couple of very, very specific, unique elements that I want to walk you through today. Okay, so email outreach is still a very, very powerful tool because it's free. You can literally just send out emails, and if people reply, you can have phone conversations with them. And then if you hit it off and it seems like you might be able to work together, then you can catch up with them on a Zoom call or another call to actually do the deal and figure out all the logistics and actually get started, right? So that's the typical flow that you want to go by, right? And email outreach is just one method. It's a part of outreach in general, right? Which means reaching out to people. So you want to combine email with phone, with SMS, with a Facebook message. Like imagine that you're just trying to reach someone, right? What would you do if you really wanted to reach your mom and something terrible had just happened and she wasn't responding? Like, would you try all of these channels? You probably would, right? Not saying that they're your mom, don't talk to them like your mom, but you get the point, right? So the thing is though, no matter what you decide to do, whether it's sending out emails, calling up a business, any of the above, there are certain like norms and things that they've experienced before. And maybe someone else has sent them an email that same day, or they've gotten a bunch of these, right? And so if your way of approaching this looks like everyone else, you're not like, this is not going to work. There has to be something unique about what you're doing, right? And so then we open up this conversation, right? A lot of people, like experts out there and whatnot, they talk about specializing your outreach messages to the business, right? Be like, oh, hi, John, at XYZ company. I noticed that you recently had, a birthday. Happy birthday. By the way, I am a digital marketer and I'm selling XY. Like, it's like, bro, that's not going to work, right? Because it's not real specialization, right? What specialization actually means is different to everything else. And so it can be about them, like highly specialized to them. It could be that you are someone that is very, very unique, right? It could also be that what you're saying and the way that you're approaching things is very, very unique. It could be that you come in with a unique strategy in mind that is going to be compelling and interesting to them, right? Now, here's the thing. Like, what a lot of people try to do when it comes to outreach is they think that like if they add the person's name and the company name, right, that's specialized enough. And it's not. Like the norm, everyone does that, right? That's not unique enough. That's not going to work. That's not going to capture their attention. Like, oh my God, he said my name in my company. know, right? But they just do that and they just go blast out 100 emails and they think that's going to work. And the rest of it is cookie cutter. That ain't going to work. Or what they decide to do is like, oh, okay, I need to make this specialized. And then they do like a bunch of research on the business and then create something that is specialized and interesting, but irrelevant and not effective, right? Because it doesn't put the person in the right mindset. For example, notice it was your birthday. Who cares, that it was their birthday? That doesn't help you move things along in any way. So what you generally want when you're sending out emails is for the person to be intrigued, okay? And just making it specialized to them isn't enough these days to make them intrigued. So I believe what you need to do is come up with a unique strategy, right? And then that's the thing that's going to keep them, that's going to get them intrigued. And it's going to create that specialization, right? That, wow, this is different to everything else that you want. Just backtracking a second, if you go and do so much research on every single person, that is not a bad thing. That's better than just a cookie cutter thing. That's kind of like, this is clearly not specialized at all. It's clearly cookie cutter. That if you're like, hey, notice that you did X, Y, Z, and you go into a lot of detail, that's better than the cookie cutter approach, but it takes way too long and you can't do it with enough volume to get the results that you want. At the end of the day, a lot of things in business and in life are a numbers game. Email outreach is a numbers game. We send out 1,000 emails, right? Not 10 emails, not 100, but 1,000 emails. That's like your minimum unit of measurement, right? Now, of this, maybe only 300 actually open it. Maybe only from there, 30 reply, and only 15 are interested, right? The other 15 are like, fuck off, Jeff. And that's okay, right? But I want to show you how to do this in a way where that you never get that response, right? Like it's always a positive response. You guys can already see the script. We're going to go into the script in quite a bit of detail in just a second. 15 respond. Of the 15 that respond, because you still did it in bulk, it's not specialized. Maybe not all of those that respond are a good fit for you. Maybe you don't talk to all of them. Maybe you only talk to 7 of them, like roughly half of them, right? Because the other 7, you say, yeah, I'm interested, but you never just end up speaking to them. And then of the people that you speak to, maybe you get yourself, let's say 3 clients, right, off the back of that. That's how the numbers break down. Everything's a funnel. Everything's a numbers game fundamentally. But our goal is to maximize the amount of people that actually open our emails, the amount of people that reply, and then ultimately the amount of people that buy, right, at the very, very bottom of the process. Now, you need to know these numbers when you're doing an email outreach campaign to track them. It'd be so useful to know, like, what do mine look like? If you see that all of a sudden you just get a massive drop off, you know what the problem is. If I don't have 30 people replying and only 5 reply, it's like, man, my message sucks. And so that's what I need to work on. And that's what we're going to look at here, the message. Okay. So, all right. After sending out thousands of these, and then we've run this, program where other people are also sending hundreds and thousands of these, and we're looking at that. After getting literally paying VAs for like months and months and months at a time to tweak this, send emails out, testing things, critiquing and reviewing the outreach of other people, and then even custom writing them and seeing the impact of the results that has, basically with a lot of data, this is the way that I would recommend that you do email outreach. And this works as well for DMs and like LinkedIn and all that type of stuff, right? This is the way I would recommend you do it. So in terms of a subject line, what this is, right, is like the subject line of the email when they get the email, that to sort of like the context of it. Now, sometimes people, what they do here, let me zoom in a little bit. Oh, maybe that doesn't work. Let me zoom it like this. What they do here is they say something completely vague. They say, hi, is this Zane here? And that's okay. That might get you quite a lot of open rates, but the person who's opening it doesn't understand the context before they open it. So they're going to be a little bit skeptical, right? But the main goal of the subject line anyway is to, like I said, generate intrigue. The entire thing's about curiosity, right? You're not explaining anything really much in email outreach. You're doing most of the explaining when you actually speak to the person. But after testing a whole bunch of stuff, I think the simplest subject line and the most relevant subject line that you can run with is potential partnership opportunity. Okay. Now, that's not fancy. That's not like cute or anything like that. But I think it still contains a decent amount of intrigue and curiosity, and using the word partnership, not like lead generation opportunity or anything like that. It's partnership opportunity. So it's like, what is the partnership? That can work in 101 different ways, right? So blanket subject line, that works, right? But you can also experiment with this. You can try like I said, hey, is this Zane? Or you can try a bunch of different variations, right? I saw you did X, or did you want this? Question mark. Generally try to generate curiosity. If you can, make it context specific, because then they won't be pissed off, right? They'll just be like, if you move into any type of pitch, they'll be pissed off with a purely curiosity-based subject line. But anyway, let's get to the meat of the email. Something like, hey, Jeff, I hope this email finds you. I'm reaching out for a very specific reason. Hope you don't mind if I just dive right in. So much fluff in the inbox these days. So what I'm doing here is just like short line. This basically says, it's subtly saying, hey, this is important. Like, I hope this finds you. And it's also very conversational. So that makes them want to read the third line. When they read the third line, they're going to read the fourth and the fifth, and everything is a micro funnel. Imagine it that way. Okay. So it's like, I'm reaching out for a very specific reason. Hope you don't mind if I just dive right in. So much fluff in the inbox these days. This says that this email is not going to be fluff. All right. I'm going to be very, very specific. I'm going to be, I'm here for a specific reason. We haven't met yet, but you came up in my research and I noticed you're a financial advisor. Perfect. Exactly what I'm looking for. Right. And so here you can do that little bit of, specialization, right? But it's very broad. It's like, notice you're in property. Notice that you're in landscaping, right? So it's not for everybody, it's for them specifically. Perfect, exactly what I'm looking for. I've been doing a bunch of research and I'm seeing a lot of self-employed tradies who are looking for help online, wanting to reduce their payables, tax, and building wealth. Now, this is the most important line, I think, of this video. Basically, you want to approach the business with a specific strategy in mind. We call this a unique mechanism, right? What is unique about what you are doing? Saying, hey, Jeff, XYZ company does not make your email unique. But if you have a unique strategy, then that makes it unique, right? And so that's the unique mechanism. That's the thing that actually makes something like, oh, this sounds like something very specific. Like, what is this about, right? So what you want to do before you ever do outreach is actually research the market. Like, let's say you want to help property agents, okay? So you could say, or let's say buyer's agents, people that help other people buy properties. You could say, hey, I'm noticing a lot of people wanting to buy in Brisbane. Do you work with people like this? Because then what you're doing is you're not asking it, hey, do you want to work with me? You're asking, hey, if you could have this type of person come to you, would that be valuable to you? Okay. Hopefully this is clicking, because you're indirectly confirming things at every point throughout this email, right? There's a lot of layers to this, okay? Just wondering if you would work with this type of client, because if you do, I'm about 110% confident I could book you consults and clients. So the main question is just wondering, would you work with this type of client, right? So you're essentially saying, I don't do everything for everybody. I do this one thing. And that the business that you're approaching has to fit in with what you do, not the other way around, right? So because if you do, I'm about 110% confident I can give you a ton of value. Basically, if you have the capacity, I can be the guy that finds and sends these types of leads to you. I'd even do all the setup work and start sending you leads at no cost. Now, important thing to note here is this is structured in a way where it's a performance-based marketing thing. It's like, if I get you a result, that's when I get paid. Okay. But you can replace at no cost with a time frame if you just want to start charging straight away and it's not performance-based. So you can say something like, I'd even do all the setup work and start getting you X results in X amount of time. That works as well. Okay. So these lines, what it shows them is like, hey, we're serious. We put our money where our mouth is. There is no risk to you as well. That's what it's saying. And if I could do that for you, would you take me up on something like that? I hope you don't mind the direct approach. Just hoping to see if there's potential here. Thanks so much, name. And then I would recommend you actually have a decent email signature. Your picture, a link to your LinkedIn. You don't need a website, but a LinkedIn would definitely help, right? And that's your main core email. Notice that nowhere at this point are we directly asking to work together. You know what's annoying is when someone's like, I offer XYZ service. And it's so general. It's like the person hearing that pitch is like, I have no idea how this service is going to help me. What's the outcome, right? We're trying to sell the outcome always. So the outcome is not just more leads, but the outcome is a specific type of lead, consults, actual clients, right? That's what we're selling. How we do that is a conversation for the phone. It's not a conversation for the email, right? No mention here of Facebook ads, no mention of funnels, no mention of anything else. This is just what we focus on and what we're seeing. Okay, this is structured in a way where you could be a complete beginner and send out this email completely congruently, because you're just simply saying, I'm doing a bunch of research, and this is what I found. It could, and it works as well as if you have a big agency or whatever, right? So hyper specific, I think it accomplishes the effect of inspiring a little bit of curiosity and being specific enough that it is different to everything else. And it's not long, it's not complicated, it does not go into the how so much. Because the main objective, if we think back to the breakdown, is we want them to open it, we want them to read it, and we want them to reply. And once they reply, then we'll move forward and actually set up a phone conversation and progress it forward. You're not going to be having these long back and forth messages through email. You don't want to do that, because if you do that, there is no action. There's actually no progression happening. You're just some dude who sent an email. But when you talk to someone on the phone for the first time, you transition in the mind of the prospect from being just some dude who sent them an email to being a real person that they've actually spoken to. So your main objective with any type of email outreach is to always get on the phone. The phone is the next step. Okay. So alongside this, you could just go blast this out to a bunch of people. I would recommend dripping it, like 50 a day, 100 a day would be good. But if they don't reply, you want to have follow-ups in place. Now, I like to keep follow-ups very, very simple, at least initially, because the whole thing should seem conversational. It should seem like you're a real person and that you're not premeditating the entire thing, right? So it's all conversational. It's like, hey, Jeff, did you get a chance to see this? Still keen to get connected and see if we can tap into this market. Let me know. So you're talking about this market. And you might be thinking, well, what if they don't want to work with that type of lead? And be like, no worries. Maybe I'm looking in the wrong place. Just curious, what type of person do you help? And now you're actually having a conversation, right? But you got follow-up email like that, very simple, right? Usually if they haven't responded to the first one, they might respond to this one. And then it's the art of continuing to follow up without being annoying, right? That's the goal. So a couple more follow-up messages. Hey, Jeff, and you might send this 2 days later, right? So it's been 4 days. Hey, Jeff, maybe that message was a little too vague, so I thought I'd do a quick follow-up. So for context here, I recently saw the data on the growth of, you can say, people searching for XYZ. A ton of people are looking for ways to reduce their home loans. You can say looking for ways to, put their money in a place that will grow. And it looks like Brisbane is the place. Or you can say, transform their gardens for summer. Like there's so many different sort of niches you could get into, right? And surprisingly, a lot of them are business owners. So it's going into more detail on the actual strategy on what audience we're going to go after, right? Because you got them, they're the business, and you want to connect them with the right type of lead, right? And that's the audience. What audience are we going to go after, right? And I'm actually doing this advanced digital marketing education program. So this is something that we give our members of our MBA program. They actually get to approach the business with the authority of everyone else that's gone through the program and the results that we've gotten for all the businesses that we've helped. So we've helped like literally hundreds of businesses. We've got case studies if they ask for it. Making a business an extra $50,000 in like the first couple of weeks, all this type of stuff for people that follow the specific process that we train them on, and they get to leverage that. So that's why this script says this. But basically in this final follow-up email, you're basically reiterating a lot in the first email, but you're just going into a little bit more depth. And I think if you do that a second time, then they're like, oh, this is actually real. And they get, this person's serious. And so the way that this ends is like, still says, I will do all the work, send you leads, jobs. Let me know when you get a chance to see this, just in case I'm beating a dead horse. Also, I'm not sure this is the best way to reach you. I know sometimes people like yourself get all sorts of random emails, but I'm genuinely trying to connect. Is that possible? Notice how the main thing, like the objective is we just want to connect. We want to connect, right? It's not like, can we work together? They're not ready for that yet, right? Like I see a lot of people make the mistake of being too descriptive. This is about the maximum detail that you can do. An idea, a rough idea of a strategy that is specific, kind of like how you want to potentially work together, but leaving it open to interpretation. And then, is it possible to connect, right? And look, if they say no to you at any point throughout this process, then simply reply back in an email, no problem, thanks so much for letting me know. I didn't want to, be a bother anyway, but I am still looking for a business to work with. Did you maybe know anyone in this space that might be able to help this type of audience that I'm suggesting, or that might want to grow their business, right? And so then they'll give you a referral, and you're going to be able to follow that on and then approach the next business saying, hey, Jeff sent me, and then you're going to get through way easier, okay? So even though you've got 1,000 reach outs at the top, let's say hypothetically, those 1,000 might refer you 300 more. So keep that in mind. And here's another final follow-up message that you might string to it. It's like, hey, quick update. I've started drafting out a campaign in this space, and I'm about to start generating leads. I can send you some to trial things out. By the way, you can always say get stuffed saying, I'll get the hint. Haha. Hope you're having a great day. Okay. So all still very conversational. And you can see at the end, like even the follow-up emails, they subtly say like, hey, this is happening anyway. People are looking for what you do. Can you help these types of people? I'm doing this thing anyway. I'm looking for a business that I can start helping, but like now this final email says, I'm already doing this, right? So they're all subtly saying, hey, this is a real thing, which is fundamentally breaking down the question mark in their head, right? That, hey, is this BS? Is this a scam? Is this whatever, right? Is this not real? Because they do get a lot of emails, right? So this has been a hella long Loom video. Email outreach is only one component of successful outreach. Like I said, I would combine email with connecting with them on LinkedIn, on Facebook if they're there. I'd call them, right? I'd leave a message with the front desk. Man, when I was starting out, I'd go as far as to actually just like walk into businesses as well and just be like, hey, is the owner here? I'm not kidding you. Very daunting thing to do. You don't have to do that. Fortunately, you can do stuff like this in bulk. So hopefully this was useful. This is how I'd recommend that you go out there and you get your first client using email outreach. See you soon.